Oh, hello, everyone. Again, I am Christine Mercer. I'm one of the founders with Karen Davis of Women's World of Backgammon. And our two other board members are here today too, Roberto Litzenberger and Melanie Hughes. And Melanie's actually going to run this amazing event that's in store for you because I have to go and do something else. But I wanted to welcome you. It's been almost 2 months since we all got together. It feels like a long time. But this program and this summer was chock full of women really showing up at tournaments all over the world and placing in a really, really high level way. I don't know, it's just so exciting to watch, and we're grateful for everyone here. Yvonne, I see you nodding. It's really, yeah, snaps and kudos to everybody. So welcome to everyone. But I want to make two things really clear. We are muting everyone who's here unless you were on the team. If you were on the team that's playing in this match we're showing, then we're going to go ahead and you're going to be able to comment, but everyone else is going to be muted, everybody. So please don't take it personally, but there's no way we can get through an hour of amazing content for you if we don't do it that way. So if you did play in the match, then unmute yourself and be ready to comment if you'd like. And if not, we ask you to wait until the end or to write your questions in the comments section. And Frances, when she can, will insert the question. So welcome, everybody. And I'm going to turn it over to Melanie and have a great, great time this afternoon. Thanks for coming.
Great. Thank you so much, Christine. And I'm going to add my welcome. And on behalf of the Women's World of Backgammon team, I'm really delighted to introduce this learning session on the highlights of the Women's World Team Championship. We're going to be reviewing 10 to 12 difficult decisions that players from the UK women's team and the United States women's team faced in the final of the competition. As mentioned, this session is being recorded and will be available in a few days on the YouTube video channel that's hosted by WWB. So please keep yourselves on mute. I'm going to reiterate that while the participants are explaining their thinking on the decision making, because that provides for a better viewer experience. Firstly, I'd like to introduce the UK team. So please say hi and raise your hand as I call your name. So Julia Hayward.
Hey.
Great. Rachel Rhodes. Did you have Rachel? Merrin Rose.
Hi.
Merrin, either. Hi. Great. And they played in the final, and the teammates Anna Parker.
Hi.
Hi. Anna Price. Well, and Becca Bell, who can't be present today. The US women's team included Karen Davis. Hi, Karen. I think some of them may be on mute. Irina, great. Irina Litzenberger.
Hi.
Irina. Linda Clay.
I'm here.
Great. Terry Harmon.
Good morning.
Great. Rain Ackerman. Rain? Okay. And Leila Zalutskaya can't be present either, but they all worked as a team. So I'd like to give a quick background to the event. It's sponsored by the World Backgammon Federation. It was the first time they've run one of these tournaments. 8 countries participated with up to 6 players per team. And 3 people were playing each round, so they were kind of swapping in and out. It starts off with a round robin of 8 countries, and then, of course, there's the semi-finals and the final. The UK, the US, the Republic of Georgia, and Norway made it to the playoff rounds, with the UK and the US women's team competing in the final. This event ignited a huge amount of interest, with a lot of countries saying we want to field our own team next year. So we're expecting a much bigger group of teams for the event in Loutraki, Greece, which will be played on April the 7th to the 13th. So if anybody's thinking about participating, keep those dates free. With that said, I'd like to turn the session over to Roberto Litzenberger, who, besides being a great player and teacher, is a director of the BMAB Players Cup, and BMAB events are held throughout the year, serving as recognition of performance, awarding the Grandmaster, Master, Advanced, and Intermediate level titles, and as a benchmark for people's personal improvement. So I'd encourage you to participate if you ever get the opportunity to do so. Roberto, let's get us kicked off. I'm over to you.
Okay, great. Welcome everyone. We have a lot of stuff to go over. I'm just going to go through and hopefully all the participants will jump in. I tried to pull out a good position and kind of a blunder or at least instructive type things of everything that happened. Here from the championship is the final gold medal match. UK team versus USA. Match 1, this was Layla versus Merrin. Position 1. Here we go. This is black on roll. 4-3 to play for Layla.
So Layla regrets that she can't join us today. She's working. We tried to do this at a time that would work for the UK team. But let me just turn to my teammates, Linda Clay or Terry Harmon, to comment on this position.
Go. Well, black's got to use the 4 to come out, correct?
Yeah, 4 comes out.
Layla has the checker on the bar and will come in bar 21. And so then the challenge, Linda, is what does she do with the 3?
I would just keep on going to the 18. Because you had a 3 left.
So that's obviously a strong play. Layla, however, played 8 to 5.
Yeah, that's the next one.
So I don't, there you see the play. And it turns out Layla played this brilliantly. That actually is right.
Okay.
Yeah, strong play by Layla here. Good play. It was spotted out. Basically crunching, hitting off the edge of the mini prime here and keeping things going. So good job there. And I'll note the scores too. I have this in full screen. You guys should be able to see the scores somewhere in the corner on there.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Might not make a
Terry,
difference.
I don't know whether you want to pick up for Layla here. Obviously, she's got a 2-1 to play. Thoughts on how you might play that? Terry Harmon.
I'm looking at it. Since the score is so close and even on both sides, I would just be more inclined to wanting to get some more builders in there to somehow contain those other 2 back checkers.
So your play would be the 13-10.
Yeah.
Well, that is the correct play. Layla, in this case, played her 1 from the very back checker, 24. I think she played 24 to 23, and then lifted her blot on the 15 to the 13th. So Terry, your argument in bringing the 2-1 down obviously was to get more builders to contain Merrin's back checkers. she's also starting a prime, so you can kind of see the start of a shape of at least a 5-point prime. And as we know from reading Michi's book, the 23 point is not really a desirable point to be on. Merrin Rose, obviously Layla was playing you in this match. Did you have a thought about what you were hoping Layla would do or not do? If you do, why don't you unmute yourself and join in the discussion?
I mean, I don't remember this play off the top of my head. I didn't think it was I don't remember it as kind of a hugely controversial play. And I don't think, it was an error, but it wasn't a blunder to make it. She obviously was just thinking she didn't want to get that checker that she's almost escaped sent back again, which is why she safetied it. But I mean, the 10 point is going to be really helpful in trying to block in those back checkers. So it's just, I guess, about attacking more than safetying.
So Roberto's sharing the XG feed there. Merrin is saying she doesn't think it's a major error, but actually it does go into almost the blunder category, not quite, with a point. Well, it is the play she made, 24, 23, 15, 13 is actually a blunder. So it's more than you think at this early stage.
So the file that I'm looking at had it at 0.076, so that's why I didn't think it was a blunder. I'm not quite sure why that would be.
This is just rolled out, and the other thing was world-class analysis
okay.
on the other file. But I did
Okay,
roll them out from here. Yeah.
So it was more of an error rolled out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Merrin, I think this was your play.
Yep. So score 0-2. So obviously it's very early on and not much adjustment for the score. So instantly I kind of see two plays. One of them is running from the 22 to the 11. And then the other one, if you're not going to do that, the other one would be to make the 5 point. So 11 to 5, and then really the only 5 then is 7 to 2, slowing the 2 point. The problem with the second play, while it looks nice to make the 5, the problem with that is then the back 2 checkers are still kind of a bit stuck, and you're I'm giving Layla the chance to kind of prime me in. I made the other play, which was 22 to 11. I kind of thought it's, there wasn't a big risk to run. She's already got 2 checkers out of play on the ace point. And then hopefully that will kind of, obviously it escapes one of those back checkers. Hopefully I can hop the other one out, and then I'm running home, because I'm already ahead in the race as well. So, when you're ahead, you should race.
Always find these positions of giving up an anchor. Again, Michi teaches us that the butterfly anchor on the 3 point or the 22 point is meant to be left at some point, and he gives criteria, one of which is having a safe place to take the checker to. And having a better board. So congratulations, Merrin, on having found that. Roberto, I see that Marty Storer has a comment in the chat. Could somebody read that to us, Melanie or Christine?
It says this kind of position is covered in butterfly anchor, part of Michi's book, Back Checker Strategy. One spare and own outfield is proxy for relevant timing.
So again, the fact that Merrin is stripped in the outfield means it's time to go.
Okay, and this is one of the positions that I always find really, really difficult, which is about, you know, obviously I'm in a position where I either need to leave a blot in the outfield or continue breaking my board. So the options are obviously kind of bring both down from the 13. And then I'd say, you know, the other option would be like 11-6, 11-9. And then there's the play that that I made, which was 6-1, 4-2. I just thought, like, I'm so far behind in the race. I want to be hitting, and if I get hit, Layla's got a 4-point, you know, a strong 4-point board. So I might find it difficult to get back on. That was a big blunder to do so. I definitely needed to leave one of the outfield points, and I think the correct move was 13-6. So basically remaking my 6-point and leaving that kind of 6-shot in the outfield. I guess the other kind of point of view is like, while I don't necessarily want to be hit, Layla is so far ahead in the race anyway. If I get hit, that does give me an opportunity to hit back at the moment on the opponent's 6-point. And then if I do manage to hit back, I've got a 5-point board, so I do have a stronger board. But I find these ones really, really difficult.
Ken, this is a very hard position, I think. But, you know, it's very hard to contain that last checker, but you're so far behind in the race. You have to make a stab at it.
Kit says,
yeah, obviously not going to win the race, so I just have to try and make it as volatile as possible, I guess.
So, Melanie, you want to read us Kit's comment?
Yeah.
Too?
Kit says, look like it's a double pass regardless of the play. And Marty Storer says it's a double take regardless of the play. So there are a couple of dissenting opinions in the chat.
I guess the score would definitely make me inclined to maybe take it. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that score and the fact there are blocks around. Yeah, so it's an interesting position. Roberto, anything you want to add?
Yeah, this position. So once you decide to stay back, the big question was which play is better contact. And it's actually quite interesting, and the differences are quite large here. I sent this out to several grandmasters at the time to look over this, and everyone gave me kind of a different option in play. Most of them got wrong, except Marty did find the right play, I must say, on this one. And others. So if that Marty would 1 sec, I guess I could paraphrase Marty. The thing is, by staying back on leaving the 13-6, it's just more double shots, basically. You're getting more time for the double shot. And some numbers that seem like they're escaping really aren't. Like 6 away, you hit with the 4-2, 5-1. You know, they probably wouldn't hit with those. I mean, they wouldn't hit with the 5-1. They probably wouldn't hit. And then, of course, with small numbers, you have double shots on them. So it's a good hard play to see. I was naturally looking at one of the other plays, like 11-6, 4-2, or something like that, or the 11-9, 11-6, or something like that. Normally keeping the midpoint, but in this case, it was, you know, incorrect. And this is the right play. So, tough one.
Marty says you hit with 42, I think, not 51.
Yeah. I guess 42 you have to, because or else you're leaving a double shot anyway. So okay, match 2.
Oh no. Can people hear me from Roberto's computer?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
loud and clear.
Here, take it away.
I don't remember. No, I do remember. I hit and left.
We'll talk about it.
No, I don't,
Yeah, I was very surprised by this one. You know, we don't like putting even two checkers on the 1 point. So even the thought of putting a third one there by picking and passing is one I don't think I would even see.
well, I thought the reason is, you know, you want to hit and hopefully she will come up in the higher points and then I can have room to play behind. And killing is ugly, but stacking is ugly also. I wasn't gonna like slot because her board is incredible. So that's how I found the play.
Well, congratulations for finding that.
Tough one.
Six, four, prime versus prime.
I'd probably run all the way. I'm famous for guessing what I did, and I don't have a memory for what I did, but run to the 12 point.
Blunder again.
So you have to hit.
So Julia, did you have a thought about this one? It's obviously Arena's play, but Julia Hayward.
Yeah, yeah. I thought about this for a while. I saw the hit, but I couldn't see if you ended up with another man back, say on my 1 or 2, that's not going to get out easily. Black feels like they're not far away from crunching. So
Obviously
I was-
going
I
out
quite-
6
yeah.
is the issue, and then the question is the 4.
Well, the white's an underdog to hit back and get out as well. So I don't know. It's one of those tricky ones. And I think over the board I would have run, but
Kit Woolsey says, if you were white, what play would you not want to see made?
Is it potentially you really don't want Julia making that anchor as well? I guess if Julia makes the anchor and you don't roll more 6s, you're going to crunch as well.
Yeah, having the extra checker for Julia, having the extra checker on the 5 point, you know, she has a little time before cracking the board also. So,
and we've also got a comment from Wayne saying, you know, it's thematic to hit back from the edge of the prime, on the edge of the prime, so that she doesn't just jump out with a 6.
oh, thank you.
Yeah. Tough
Yeah,
play.
big difference, isn't it? It seems like a small point, but a big difference in the evaluation there. 0.15 blunder, not to hit on the 3.
And if you get hit, and Marty Sora says you can recover given the extra time you're going to get by jumping out.
Yeah.
but it's so what happens when you don't get hit? Do you have
Enough timing? Yeah.
enough, you know, to like get the other 2 6s that you need?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Marty
they
says,
need to do the same thing, right? So it goes back and forth. So it's between a prime versus prime timing battle, and you just win more games. You got 5.5% more wins for hitting, and the gammons are, you know, you're winning more gammons by hitting and you're not losing more.
It's still
I
not,
like
even I see the right play, it's still like, I have to make the mistake several times before it sinks.
I like the way Marta expresses that. If you don't get hit, you're ecstatically happy to have hit lose thematically. So,
Yeah.
But I don't feel that I'll be happy if I don't get hit. I don't think I have the timing to play forward.
Well, if you don't have the timing to play forward after hitting, you're not going to have the timing to play forward if you don't hit it either.
Well, yeah, because I mean, she can crack the board. Let's say if I get lucky, which actually I did, I get really lucky this much. She can crack the board, right? I don't know. It's just, it's not even seeing the right answer. I can see myself making this mistake again.
Cube action here. Julia's on roll.
so Julia, this is yours. Cube.
I can't remember what I did on the day. I'm definitely looking at it now, and maybe it's different. So not being in the thick of it and looking at it as just an isolated question, I'd definitely be doubling. And I think that stack on a 3 on my ace point just looks horrible. I've got another shot to put one back, another fourth one back. And I don't think I'd be taking as black. Looks like
I can
Arena.
and I actually I do remember I didn't get any points from this. I got stuck at 5 for a long time, so I don't think it was double par in reality.
I was doubling from the bar way too often, and I decided, you know, I needed to hold to those doubles, and so the same applies when I'm being double from the bar. You know, then why? Because I question my doubling from the bar, I also question my opponent's doubling from the bar. I do have the 4, 5, and 6, and I have 3 checkers back, but it is an anchor. So I don't know. I think this was a take.
Yeah.
Well, you both got it right, Julia. You did correctly double. Arena correctly took. So a tough one, I think.
Yeah, and I think I did one rollout here after for even if it was a normal match score here, if the score was even, just so you can see a little bit of the value of the correction of why a little more trigger happy when you're trailing. Here's the rollout at a normal match score, and it's still a close double here at a normal score as well. Good play along.
Kip was saying clear to double, even if not correct, they might pass.
Julia, I think this is your double on position 8. You're obviously ahead in the race. The match score is 0-0 at this point.
Again, I'm trying to think what did I do? looking back, I think this was a pretty aggressive double by me. But it feels like it could turn into a prime versus prime where I've got a bit of a disadvantage. But if I can get that man on the bar, on the bar point, then the game swings a lot in my favor, and it sort of feels like if I'm going to ship the cube, ship now while there's a really volatile position. Kit, I'm on roll as white, I think.
So Irina, can you answer Kit Woolsey's question? What did you not want her to do?
For this position, because he was saying something about the previous position, but
This position.
Yeah, about this position.
I was okay with the double. I think you know, I'm at the edge of the prime, so I think, you know, she's in the 20. I don't know. I don't remember what I thought at the time, but I just take this.
And as Julia thought,
Also,
it
this
wasn't-
was a final. I was just very nervous. Just you know, I look calm when I play, but I'm not.
So as Julia thought, it was aggressive double, and in fact, the XG analysis is no double.
Yeah. With a bit of context, I know for a long time, one of my most persistent losses of equity was being late to double. And I think there are times when I'm really conscious of that and overcompensate a bit. And I think this was one of them, particularly as it was the first game of 15. It was really quite loose.
Yeah, good solid reference though. It's we call it kind of like a 60-40 positions. You start to get that feel that you do have, you know, you do have an edge there, and then at different scores when you're trailing by a bunch, you know, you can see when they pull the trigger on 60-40s. I did a couple of rollouts on different scores until I got to the one where it would be correct to double, basically. This score here was even leading 4-0. It's close to borderline if you're trailing 4-0 here to, this is to 11, I think, yeah. On this one, kind of 2 notches up, still short. Now here, if the person's right below kind of halfway, this is the 15. So kind of like a 7-0 to 15 or like a 5-0 to 11, that kind of thing. It does switch here to, you know, to a correct cube in this case.
Yeah, and Marty points out, you know, Black's recube power is pretty big here. It's immense. And Kit says, problem with the double is that even if you hit, the market loss won't be that big. So who's the favorite? You know, so a couple of other comments.
Anyone else have anything else to say on this one?
So is it a double take? What's the correct answer? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No
it's a
double.
no,
Okay.
no double take.
Take. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's the values up there. Yeah.
Okay.
So here I am with a 6-5. I'm behind in this match, 4-0 to 15.
I know that. I was wondering about the Oakland piece. Thanks for forwarding your flight info, by the way. period, but if it's 9:13 to 9:23, you'll miss mom's party.
If you're
I
not
think somebody,
muted,
Julia Barello, if you could go on mute, yeah.
Oh. Good lord.
I'll mute. Yeah, there we go.
Well, but that gave me some more time to think about this. There are really two ways to play the 6-5, in my view. You could come down off of the 13 point to the 8 and 7, or you could make the 1 point. And I think it's more hating making the 1 point than loving coming down that influenced me. But you know, the general point is that once I have the bar point on the 18, the midpoint is less valuable to me. So it's relatively easy to give it up, but this is a safe way to give it up. If I go 6-1, then I'm stripped in my outfield and I'm likely to leave a shot next time. Whereas if I bring the 6-5 down, then I've got a lot of extra checkers to just sit on the 18 point and pray roll after roll for a double. That gets me home safely. So I think this is fairly clear that coming down 6-5, even though well, and I am ahead in the race. So there we go, a blunder to make the 1 point, and also wrong to just dump checkers off the 8. So Rachel, I was playing you. Did you have any thoughts about what you hoped I'd do?
Rachel, are you on mute?
No, it looks like she's off mute.
While we're waiting for that, Marty's saying timing is against keeping the midpoint because Karen's 16 pips ahead. And clearing the midpoint creates a lot of extra timing. Kate, usually right to clear the midpoint when holding the defensive bar point if convenient. So lots of people supporting that decision.
And I see Wayne Joseph made the same point, that bringing 2 down gives you more time to just wait for doubles. So that's the game plan there.
Can everyone hear me again?
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, good.
Can
Yeah,
you hear
I
me now?
believe Karen did make the good point that just the timing, just plenty of timing here to move those checkers and play behind the anchor later. Good solid play here.
Rachel, I think I could just hear you.
Oh, really? I just took my headphones off, but I don't know why it's so quiet.
That sounds good.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
fine. That sounds great.
Okay, right. Well, I can still hear everything as well, so that's good. I think the only we've gone to the next one, have we? Is this the same one?
Next, I'll go back if you want to say something on the last one.
No, I wasn't really needing to say anything. I think that the clearing the mid is clear, but it does allow me to jump into the outfield and control it, I suppose.
That's a good point.
But I don't think you have a choice. I think you have to do that.
Marty says, anyway, you're not just waiting for doubles. You have some restraint against Rachel's back checkers and may even make your 5 point.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, that Marty made, Marty Storm. So Rachel, I think this is you with the 3-5 to play.
This looks later in the same game, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, it is the same.
I feel like I've got to improve my board here because if I do manage to hit you, I've just got no. I can't remember what I did, but looking at that now, I think probably make my 5 point. I don't know. Or that, yes. Out and make the 2 point. Yeah. Actually, the race is closer than it looks at first, isn't it? Yeah, that looks too big. I can't remember what I did.
That's what you did, the right play.
Which one did I do?
This one of making the 5 point here.
All right, well, that's what I'm
Shot.
looking at now. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, the two blots.
It looks very bold, but I think you do need to remake that 5 point.
Wayne Joseph says, yeah, you're duping sixes with that play.
Yeah, indeed.
Race is close.
Yeah.
And I think these plays are hard when you're actually, you're an underdog though in the position, making these kind of plays that seem vulnerable. But great point.
And also I'm leading in the match as well. So you kind of instinct is to try and protect. But yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing as Kit says, pretty close. So it wouldn't have been a huge mistake to make the next best move, which was coming out and
making the 2.
Making the 2, yeah.
Okay, great.
Kit Woolsey's making the point that running has a much higher win percentage.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, 39.
And more gammons.
But more chance of getting.
Yeah.
But more gammons against as well.
But
A lot
loses
more gammons
14
against.
gammons against, yes.
Yeah, it's the gammons against.
Yeah, so I guess, Rachel, your point of like, since you're leading, it does kind of lead that it was good, solid overall play.
Yeah.
Wins and not losing as much,
You don't want to give up a lot of extra gammons, do you?
Hey, Rachel, this is your cube decision.
Okay.
Looks like you're a little behind in the match score.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're on the bar. I'm threatening to make the 3rd point in my board. And I've also got threats to hit the another checker. You've got 2 other loose blots. So being behind in the match, that looks quite a nice aggressive cube. I've got 9 checkers in the zone, so I'd prefer to have 10, but I think I would cube. And would it be a take? I think it's a take.
Yeah, Wayne thinks it's a double take, and Kit says he'd double first and ask questions later.
I can't remember what we did.
You put your finger, Rachel, on one of my greatest weaknesses. I often say I've got blots lying around all over the place.
And you see bad things happening.
And so when I do that, then you double and it works. Then you scoop up my blots while I'm struggling to get in. So I'm trying to get better. For example, about covering checkers, even on the 1 point. Although that's not the issue here, but looks like I haven't been playing very long here. It's very early in the game, but I think the blots do make it dangerous.
Yeah.
So Roberto, you want to share with us what we did?
Yeah, I think over the board, this was did not double here. There was a no double, so you did not have to
Okay,
take.
so I
the
missed
double.
it.
Yeah, it was kind of a missed double. You know, even slightly behind, this kind of early advantage was kind of just enough. Not a big mistake, but I think it kind of sums up the aggressivity you use, just kind of an early game when you start to fall behind. I did do one rollout here for normal score. If this was normal score, I think this is just ever so shy of a cube, like borderline here of non-double if this was like 0-0 in the
Yeah.
map. So
And I see those 26% gammons.
Indeed.
So when things go well, they go really well for you.
Yeah.
yeah. Karen, when I get to last position, if we're done, if there's time, you can probably open it up, and if other people have questions, I can go back, comments, I can go back to the different positions and look at them if there's time for that at the end.
So did you want to do you had a position 12, or you want to skip that?
Yes. No, I'll do 12 too. Yeah, here we go.
I was happy to skip it.
Thank you.
So I'm black and I'm on roll, so I'm ahead 9-5. So Roberto used to tell me not to be so afraid to double when I'm ahead in the match score, whereas I like to sit on my lead and not give the cube away to my opponent, who at the first opportunity is going to flip it right back at me. So I didn't double here, but obviously good things can happen. I've already completed, as Michi would say in his back checker strategy. I'm at the completed stage. I've gotten all my checkers out and to at least the midpoint. And then Rachel said she liked to have 10 checkers in the zone, and I've got 12. I don't have any points made yet, but I'm certainly poised to make them in rapid order, and could get a gammon if things go well. Meanwhile, Rachel's managed to get herself into a pretty inflexible position. So I'm sure it was a double, and I did not double.
And
So,
Kit,
Rachel.
is it obviously a take?
It's an uncomfortable take. I don't think it's obviously a take at all.
It's a pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Close.
So
Yes, it wouldn't have been a horrific error.
here's one where, again, this comes up, I'm afraid, and embarrassingly frequently, that it's I don't double, and were I to have doubled, it would have been a pass. So obviously these are learning sessions.
Yeah.
So thank you, Roberto, for picking positions where there's
But
a
you
lot.
may, you know, not only if you had cubed, you know, you may have got an incorrect take, which would just compound it, wouldn't it? Compound the error. So, yeah. I'm glad you didn't double it anyway, Karen.
Would you have taken?
Well, yeah, looking at it, I mean, I can see that it is a pass when I see that, but it is close enough that you can make a mistake.
Yeah.
And especially when you're behind in the match like that, you can think, oh, you know, she can roll awkwardly and then I can get back in this. I'm not so far behind in the race. I can. So you never know.
Mhm.
I think the match score also has a bearing as well. Maybe it's okay to let a single point go here.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
Yes, there's
Marty
still a way
would
to
like
go.
to be a take at 5 away, 9 away instead of 6 away, 10 away.
I did not do rollouts at different scores for this.
No,
one.
no, it's fine.
To a certain degree, you can look and see, it looks like this would be a pass at most scores, just by
Yeah.
looking at the gammons for each side. And then a normal score, you have a gammon difference of 10 here. Half of that gammon differences would be a net like 5% wins, which would put you down to around a 20% take. So this should be a pass at a normal score as well,
Okay.
or for money. And that was it. USA won that one. Celebrating. There they are.
So, Roberto, we can wrap it up with that, or we can see if anybody wants to make any comments or have you go back to anything.
Yeah, if people want to make comments, since we did get through the presentation, I think this was a good format. If people have things to go back, I can easily pull up any of the positions that we had before to keep talking about it. You know.
So everybody feel free to unmute yourselves if you've got a question.
I don't have a question, but I just want to thank you all for putting this together. It's like a lesson all by itself, incredibly valuable to be able to go back and forth and hear great people in backgammon analyze and give this great advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to say one more thing about the final position and the effect of the score. If your Karen's on an even away score, so a 2-point win would get her to 4 away, which is a really milestone score. You could win a 4 cube and win the match exactly.
Yeah.
You could win a doubled gammon and win the match exactly, or you could win 2 points from 4 away and then you get 2 away, which is another milestone score, right? But if let's say you're at 5 away, now if now your opponent is going to be really, really itching to redouble you, and more so than if 4 points will get you exactly to match win. And if you're 5 away and you get 2 points, you're 3 away, which is you're hardly ever going to be giving the cube there, from the middle, unless it's not gammon. If it's gammonish in your favor, you're going to try for an undoubled gammon rather than let your opponent maybe have an easy recube. And and you're going to be really hesitant to take a 4 cube if your opponent has significant winning chances, because that's overage for you. That's not efficient, right? Your opponent has it. Your gammon value is nothing, right? So odd away versus even away, the cube actions, you're going to be a little more conservative in many positions if your opponent is even away and your opponent's doubling you as the favorite. But you're going to be less conservative if your opponent is odd away. And that's why I said it might be a take at 7 away to 11 away too, same 4-point score difference, but odd away. It might be, but 15 away a piece, like a normal score, like Roberto said, would just have to be a pass. If it's a pass at, when the opponent is leading by 4 points at even away, then it's probably going to be a pass at 0 to 15 as well. But the whole odd away even away thing affects races. It affects how you use a racing formula. It's really worth studying.
Okay. Anybody else with questions or comments? Okay, well, I want to thank everybody who was involved in putting this together, especially Roberto, who put a lot of work into this. I mean, you see the outcome, but he puts a huge amount of work into putting these presentations together. And it's great we had such great participation, 29 people involved, and thank you for your great comments, the teams involved. I thought you were very gracious in talking through some of your good and not so good plays. It's hard to do that, so thank you for participating, and we think it was a fantastic session.
Yeah, I'd
Thank
much like
you.
to say
If I could just-
beautiful play by Irina in position 5.
Was that the ace point? Going to
Hit
the
and
ace?
bounce to the ace point, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the contact. She's already ahead of the race. It's all about the contact and the long-term hitting chances. It's not great for her own race to have a third checker on the 1 point though. But if she stays on the bar, right? She'd stay on the bar with 4 numbers, and then there's no number that leaves a direct shot, right? For black. So that's part of it too. And if she's on the bar, she doesn't get full value out of 666, let's say, or a number that would make her 3 point, let's say, so.
That I got right. Now I want to go back and play out the other one that I blundered, and I blundered today again by not hitting on the 3 point with a 6-4. So that's gonna haunt me.
That was this one, I think.
Great.
Yeah, that one. Exactly. So
You've got
1, 6 or 2,
rolls
6,
to
right? Suppose you hit and she rolls 1, 6 or 2, 6. All of a sudden her 5-1 prime cracks. That's part of it too. Suppose she stays on the bar.
I think there's you're going to roll another 6 maybe within 3 or 4 rolls, so probably won't crunch. I think you have enough timing there. But it's backgammon.
Also, you're sitting on the cube, so you have leverage that way too.
That's true.
But Edina did make a great point now. If you do see positions you don't completely understand, there is a very easy way when you put the position into extreme gammon and say play from position, and you can play the game out several times, multiple times, so you can see the different outcomes that the percentages say should happen. So you play it out, and you start getting familiar. Oh, this is how it works. This is how it works. That's really a great way to have it sink in.
That's what we used to do in the old days before XG.
Or you can even set the 2 opponents to be the AI playing against each other, and just do play from position, and you can see how it develops as well. It's like a rollout, but slower. But you can actually visualize it as it's happening and see the trends and the patterns that are happening.
Does it go fast? Do you just set the speed?
It goes pretty fast. Yeah. It's about half a second per move. So it will finish in 30 seconds the match. And then you just do it a couple of times or a few times, and you can see, oh, right, this is a crunching position. This is, the bits came off or whatever. Quicker than doing it yourself.
So let me just second Melinda's comments and thanks to Roberto. But if we, Julia Hayward, if just quickly you could say a word about the upcoming Canute Cup, I think people might have some interest in that.
Yeah, so this is the 3rd time we're going to have played it, so it's every 2 years. We're planning for the weekend of October 26th, 27th. Teams of 8, which gives us a chance to showcase a lot of good players on both sides. It'll be a full round robin of those teams of 8. So it's a packed program. We're hoping to live stream 1 match from every round and feature as many people as possible. The first time we did it, it's 2 points for a win and 1 point for a PR win. And the first time it was decided by the very last PR point. 2 years ago was rather more one-sided, but we've been away getting our grandmasters to run training sessions with us. So we hope we'll make a comeback this year.
We're ready.
Oh, and
Excellent.
Women's World of
Revenge.
Women's World of Backgammon will find a way to share some of the highlights from the upcoming UK match between the UK team and the US team. We'll find a way to share those highlights with you. But thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thank you.
And if I can squeeze in a quick mention, I've just noticed the draw for the WBIF women's teams event has just been made. So we haven't drawn each other at this stage. Maybe see you in the final of that. That's a very big maybe.
Wouldn't that be great?
Mm.
Yeah.
Speaking of
well,
somebody who has both nationalities, I think that would be great.
good luck to the UK and that.
And to
tournament
you.
also.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
All
Bye.
right, bye, bye.